indulging your soul. It's what's inside of people. It's beauty to behold. Every day the flesh it grows. Changes of the time takes the toll. And it was written
Where?
up in the
Book of life. That's
Hey,
what
that-
man shall endure forevermore.
Hey, Junior Gang.
Listen, tune, you know? That whole album.
That whole
Listen,
album was fire.
Dennis?
Like you heard it and you're like, Grammy, just give him the Grammy.
no, honest
just give it to him.
There was no discussion,
Just
no debate.
give it to
track
him.
after track after track.
If you
That
wanted to
album,
speculate about halfway through, fine. But that album?
No, it's. Oof.
Oh, God.
As a matter of fact, you know that's what I'm going to listen to now today in my car. That's going to be my vibe for the day.
For the day. For the day.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning, Sunrisers. Happy Tuesday to you. That was. Who was that again?
Junior Gang
and
Capleton. Who else was on it? Was it just Capleton?
I feel like it's who did the Nas.
Nas, Nas. Yeah.
But yeah.
And that was that a Stephen Marley production? I must have. It sounds
Highly
like
likely.
It sounds like a Stephen Marley
Highly
production.
likely. They're very
man.
talented. Very talented.
Stephen is a genius level producer, you know. You know, him gone up in some stratosphere.
Did you listen to Kabaka Pyramid's album, The Calling?
Yeah.
Damien Junior Gang Marley produced that, and let me tell you, say, for production quality, whew. Anyway, you know, we could talk music all day. But this morning, we're going to choose to glow up and be the ultimate glow getter.
All right.
Now, what does that look like? To see each achievement you surpass, like climbing a step on the staircase to all of your dreams, your goals, and desires. You may think the more steps you take, the more tired you'll become, but each step will also make you that much stronger. So just keep climbing.
Keep climbing every step that you take. You know, in truth, some of the times we get weary in well-doing. You know, we get weary in the first, second, third. It's like in the gym, you know, you're doing 10 reps. The growth doesn't come in the first 7 reps, you know.
No. It's the last 3 where you struggle.
Yeah, is that struggle? Is that right before failure or that up to failure? That's where the growth happens.
100%.
And so all of the steps that you put in before, all of the reps that you put in before is just to get you to the point of struggle, which is why we have to change our relationship with struggle and failure, because that's where the lessons are learned and that's where the growth happens. Your motivational quote of the day, you cannot
Wait,
control.
that wasn't the motivational quote? Because I'm not going to lie. I was like,
let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. No, but your motivational quote of the day is, you cannot control the behavior of others, but you can always choose how you respond to it. That's Roy T. Bennett, The Light in the Heart.
I think it's so important to respond to stimuli and try your very best not to react to stimuli. Reacting and responding is two very different things.
True.
Reaction typically is just what happens spontaneously, right? But response often takes an understanding, a digestion, a processing, and then you give a response.
I would say a reaction is a direct result of the initial action, but a response may not be a reaction.
Because you've
you know, so I am choosing to respond by not reacting sometimes, you know.
I really try my best to respond and not react. I really try. Sometimes at the risk of having a little silence, but I'm just like...
You know what I hate? When people do something and then they want to dictate
how you should respond or react to it.
To what they did to you. Yeah, I mean, I like that.
Yeah, no, it's actually called manipulation. You can't do that. You can't tell me what you did should make me feel and how I should respond or react.
If I forgot
you can't tell me that. You can't tell me that. But also, you know, we always say that there's a day for everything.
Yes.
So this one, to be honest with you, when I was little, I didn't understand the magnitude of the impact of asthma.
Oh.
I just thought you got to use a cool pump. This is when I was small. I was just like,
okay.
oh, how comes they have a pump and I don't have a pump?
I want asthma.
But as I've become older, I realized that it actually can and is often life-threatening, and people have lost their lives. So today is World Asthma Day, and millions of people all over the world suffer from asthma, which means that most people know someone that suffers from it. So those who have someone with asthma in their lives are typically familiar with the psst, psst sound.
Yes.
I would say it's more of a sound of the inhalers that make a relatively normal day-to-day life possible for those who use them, you know. But World Asthma Day is dedicated to raising awareness about the disease and its advanced asthma care, and also how to help improve people's lives around the world. Honestly, it's one of the most shocking things. I remember so a few years ago, Israel had dengue really badly, and we were up in the pediatric casualty up at UWI, and I was so surprised with how many children came in to be nebulized. When I say I was surprised, and they were just lined off getting nebulized, it really is not something to take very lightly.
Yeah, I had an experience, and I mean, you grow up and you know, because like, well, as a kid, we grew up knowing you take care of the person in class. There's a kid in class who has diabetes. There's a kid in class
Sickle cell.
so you know who you look out for if he's having a problem, get him his pump, etc. So, you know, I've always been aware. But there's a difference between awareness and really understanding. When I got, what name again? COVID, the first time, it left me using a pump for months.
Really?
And the experience of needing one, like the experience, especially
of not
in the
feeling like you can get air.
like the experience of just walking to the bathroom
and being
winded, like when you reach the bathroom, like yes, a peeny wally. I'm like, so this is what these kids were going through all these years, and this is what like they've lived through it all their life. No man. Honestly, so I'm in agreement with a day to sensitize people, because I don't know that they're aware of, and then in some societies I don't know if there's a greater prevalence because of air quality and that kind of thing.
Perhaps because of the pollution or perhaps,
and then sometimes it's genetics.
Correct.
So I mean it is something to be concerned about. So be aware. And then we have one in the house. We do have a Ventolin inhaler.
Wow.
Courtesy of Taj.
He's like, yeah, you can show me. Boy. What else? Do you know what else is happening today?
I do know what else is happening today. Ta-da! It's Read Across Jamaica Day. Read Across Jamaica Day is a celebration of literacy and cultural enrichment that brings communities together through the joy of reading. And so on this day, Jamaicans of all ages immerse themselves in the wonders of literature, sharing stories, exploring new worlds, and fostering a love of reading. So do you have a favorite book?
I do. It's hard for me to single out a favorite because I am an avid reader, right? So I would say in my most recent reads, my top two picks, my number one of my most recent would be The Paper Palace. It was a brilliant read. That's by Miranda Cowley, hello. And I would also say Finding Me by Viola. And I'm not typically one for autobiographies, but that book was brilliant. Those are my most recent reads. Okay,
I haven't had a pleasure read in a long time, because I'm always reading for either school or work. I haven't had a pleasure read in ages, probably like 41 Laws of Power. It's been a while, But my favorite book, I suppose there's a clutch of books that I was reading at a particular time in life, and so they kind of shaped my outlook. One of them being The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, which is a lot of people's favorite book.
Yes, I've read that. Good
absolutely love it. I love Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist.
Oh, The Alchemist is also a good one.
So I mean, those two, especially like I was 19, 20, 21 in that time.
The Alchemist is one of those books that you can reread every 5 years. It's a nice
read. And as you get older and you read it, the same things that you read mean something completely different.
Absolutely.
So like, you know, the section in The Prophet about parenting, you know, you're like,
Yeah,
You
because
know?
I would have initially read that book when I was 21.
Exactly.
I wasn't yet.
You
a
don't
mom.
live no life.
So, exactly.
You don't live no life.
And we
yeah.
think we begin out.
Yeah.
Don't live no
And I'm like,
life.
oh yes, I
But
have
yeah.
all this wisdom. Those things that you were reading it meant very little. But now I'm looking at it and I'm saying, your children are not your children. They came through you, not
That's right.
from you. And I'm like,
That's right. Which is why I think it's so. I think that's why it's such a big thing for me not to live vicariously through my children.
Yeah,
they've been. I don't know why, but God has chosen me as the vessel for them. But my job, as far as I see, is to allow them to be the best versions of themselves, for them to hone their own skills, for them to be who they are. You know what I mean? We've lived our lives. We don't need to live vicariously through them. So what are your passions? What are your desires? But that book is the bomb.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Absolutely.
I like that one. Does Jackson read?
oh yeah. I mean, right now he's been reading my WhatsApp chat, so I mean, so I don't know, but yeah, I mean, books, yeah, he reads that too. So I mean, a book is a good gift at any time
I agree.
for him.
Always. I think a book is a great gift for any child.
Like what I've done, especially from ever since his mother and I, we'll come home. Guess what I got for you?
Yeah, make a big deal.
Make a big deal
Oh
of it.
my
A new book. You know. So
Yeah.
You socialize them into excitement over books. You know.
Absolutely.
Just like a toy. We're gonna go on an adventure.
Yeah.
In this book, you know. So shout out to the library service for the lovely books that you see behind us and in front of us. Indeed, you can borrow books from the library and you can bring them back. And so you can borrow up to 6 books, adults can. Kids can borrow up to 3 books for free. So you can't say, boy, I can't afford book. I can't afford like buy book. You don't have to. Borrow the book, bring it back and let somebody else have the joy of reading. So registration for the National Reading Competition closes this Saturday, May 11th. So go out and get that. You know, I also love reading with him.
Oh my gosh.
I love reading and
I have to tell you, I'm so sorry I didn't send this video in to our producers.
Yeah.
I have a video of just over maybe last Monday. It was last Monday. Izzy was reading to Isaiah.
Oh.
And let me tell you how as she's reading it and the intonation and she and she's carrying on and he's like, I'm like, these are my kids, my readers.
Nice.
But yeah. How you feel about Eurodance music?
I don't.
I don't either. But guess what? We're going to feel something now.
We're going to feel something.
Because we're going to head to the Eurodance party mixtape.
Oh.